Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Niagara Falls experience, episode 21, and it is our lucky day. As you may notice, I am currently in the icebox. Oddly enough, also in the corner, which is weird because I thought nobody puts baby in a corner. Peter is in our production studio as per usual. So here's our lovely.
How's it going, eh?
But wait, who is taking our main seats? What? Why? Two people that you've never seen before on this show.
Two best people that are going to be on this show
Ever?
today.
Hey, yeah.
Righto, that is the answer. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Well, that's Marty. He's my older brother.
And that's Nick, my younger brother.
Yeah, we same dad, different moms. I took after my mom. I got the hair.
And beard.
I think you've used that one before,
I
Peter.
like that one.
Yeah, we're tour guides. Niagara
we are.
Falls.
At least we try to be.
Yeah, well, I tried to train him, is what happened.
Yeah, he didn't do a good job.
So, yes, in case you guys haven't figured out yet, we have Nick and Marty here. They are local Niagara Falls tour guides. One is a Canadian and one is an American because we do like to keep a theme here on this show.
Indeed.
Can they guess which one's Canadian?
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna leave a guess to figure it out.
Guess to figure it out, all right.
So,
No one say.
yeah, we're not gonna say anything.
Yeah, we all know.
For all our, someone chime in.
Say an A over there.
Should we chime in?
Yeah,
No?
someone
Which
guess.
one?
Give us a guess.
We're gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that both of them are Americans, and it's a plot twist.
Oh, no, the braids in his hair, man. He's from, like, Toronto.
I'm a Viking.
I was just going to say he's from Sweden.
I'm a Viking.
Oh, yes.
I'm Norwegian. I got a little bit of that in me.
Swedish.
A
You're
total
more
mutt.
Swedish than Norwegian.
I'm not Swedish at all.
Yeah, you're sweet.
Just,
Oh, baby. Thank you.
Hey, moron!
we're having a lot of fun here, folks.
we are
And,
definitely.
sorry, Nico.
Yeah.
We're having a good time here. We've got a Canadian and an American who are tour guides here in Niagara Falls. And we're going to get into a little depth with them right now as to some background on who they are. And through the program, we're going to have some fun with them. We're going to learn about a very important aspect of marine biology that these are the two experts in. So, first of all, Nick, without
Sure.
giving away your citizenship, tell us how you got into being a tour guide. What did you do wrong?
Well, basically, I saw the sign out front, right? I said, okay, there's a sign here. Tour guide. Need a tour guide.
Oh, I thought you meant
Marty,
for
I'm
sale.
going to fall on you. Anyhow. So I said, okay, I think I'd be good at that. I'm a people person. Essentially, someone told me, hey, look, tour guide, and you're a people person. You could do good at this. I said, hey, good idea. I'll walk in there. And I talked to the guy, and I said, how you doing? I see you're looking for a tour guide. I think it'd be all right at that. He said, listen, I need you to start tomorrow. You got to start tomorrow. So I said, all right, no problem. I'll start tomorrow, but I got to ask, this is a little extreme, don't you think you want to train me? Why do you need me so bad? Because it's a red flag, right? And he said, well, Nick, my best guy passed away yesterday. All right. And I said, oh, well, that's too bad. How do he pass away? That's a real shame. And he said, well, he went peacefully in his sleep. It's just too bad his passengers didn't. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a true story. Yeah. So you can tell I'm a bus driver too. Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys ever heard that one?
Nico's dying over there.
You know who gave me that one, eh, Marty?
Who?
Roland.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
I don't think you're going to get a nice, honest answer on many questions. I'm sorry.
So that's you, and you're sticking to it.
I'm sticking
That's
to
his story,
it.
yep.
That's the one.
Well, I'll be a little more honest.
There you go.
For me, truthfully, honestly, I was born in the area in Niagara Falls and grew up here most of my life. And honestly, I love the area. But for the last 20 years, I did industry work. But growing up in the area, always being down at the falls, I was the type of person I would see people and take pictures for them, tell them where to go, where not to go. And jokingly, I'm like, oh, I should be a tour guide. Well, when I lost my job a few years ago at one of the local factories, I started doing this, and I fell in love with it. It seemed, I don't know, to me, it just seems so natural. I truly found out the real meaning when they say, you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And to me, it's fun because I love messing with people. We get so many,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say this now, but we get some gullible people around here.
We do. It's true.
And there it is. I was waiting. I'm like, this is so heartfelt. There's no way, Party Marty. There's no. He's like, oh, I love him. And I'm like, come on. There's got. I'm like, I was getting suckered into it. I'm like, and also he's like, yeah, we just get to mess with everybody.
I do.
And like,
there's so many ways we mess with them, and I got a few of them, but one of them is you'd be surprised, but I like telling people that we turn the falls off at 10:30. That's a funny story there.
10 o'clock at night. It's the red button in the Cave of the Winds elevator.
Yes,
You
but they
press
changed
that.
it. Yeah, I had to stop telling them that because people were actually trying to push the button.
No way.
They told me to stop doing that.
Who pressed? One of your people press the button?
Little kids have tried. I had to slap their hands.
God.
But no, it's funny because over the years, I've literally had people come up to me and ask me, what time do we turn the falls off? And me being the type of person that I am, I'll look at my watch and be like, oh, you got about 10 minutes. And watch people take off running.
Well, they used to have that picture of the damming.
Well, that's
That's where you always put in
Yeah.
the plug. You say, look, we do this every night at 10 o'clock. Here's what it looks like. Come back at 10 o'clock.
Well,
Yeah.
the real scoop is fireworks are at 10 o'clock. We turn the falls off at 10:30. We drain it out in the whirlpool. We clean it out, and we start all over the next day.
Start all over.
That's what all that yellow foamy stuff is in the river. That's the soap suds.
It's a good one.
that only works if you're on the American side. When you're on the Canadian side, you could smell that sauce.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
sure it's the suds or just the American side?
Yeah.
That's it. That is going to be the question. What is that? Because we want to be informational. You guys, you're
Okay.
tour guides. You're fun, but you're also informational. What is that foamy stuff at the bottom of Niagara?
It's beaver shark food.
It is.
It is.
No, it really is.
So what it is when the falls go over, they create erosion.
Erosion.
Right? And that erosion, it's full of rock material. You get all these rocks. And even in the rapids, it's a mineral.
Well, if
Go
I
ahead.
could explain,
It's limestone.
can I get into the story? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
So listen.
I'll let
Move
you
to your right a
take
little
this
bit
out.
there.
Yeah, come on.
Marty.
Yeah,
We need to know
Get
who
So-
you are.
closer.
listen.
Come on, your
Okay,
buddies. Get
so listen.
close.
Down in the river, in the lower river, this is my buddy. So down in the lower river, or Niagara Falls, there is a rare shark down there called a beaver shark. It is a rare freshwater shark. Now the reason why we have them down there is because they thrive in the green water. And what gives it the green light color is you have 3 layers of rock. The top layer is the heavier rock called the dolomite. Underneath is the softer rock like the shale, the limestone, sandstone, etc. And that is why those beaver sharks out there, because there's a lot of yellow and white foamy stuff, which is the mineral composite
mineral,
of the
yeah.
erosion, and that is why the beaver sharks are out there. They thrive in that mineral.
It's like
Now-
the vitamins and minerals that
Exactly.
you and me eat in our, as we have a little
But they are super rare.
supplement.
Okay, they are super rare. It is hard to spot, but they have. And like I tell people, they are not aggressive. They do not attack humans, but they can jump 6 feet out the water. And over the
do.
years, I've had people on the Maid of the Mist with their cameras.
And what's in your camera?
And
Minerals.
one jumped up. Well, yeah, because of the
Smells
battery.
all like
stuff.
minerals, the batteries
One
and
jumped
everything.
up and knocked their camera into the river. So I tell people, keep your phones inside the boat. And occasionally, it's very rare, but someone might spot one. And then when people you don't believe me, I actually show them a picture of a beaver shark. And they're like, oh my God,
Beaver
really?
sharks coming to get
Yeah,
you.
they're out there.
I mean,
man.
we just saw a picture of a beaver
But I
shark
think I
on
hear
here,
one.
I do believe.
Did I
do
hear
we?
one? I thought I heard one. But no, there is beaver sharks. They're a rare freshwater shark.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Well,
That's
the
a
cartoon
cartoon depiction.
All
Let's
right,
just do it
yeah,
like
we're gonna
that.
have to talk about this. I've got to find you that picture you sent. Bear with me.
Oh yeah, we sent you a couple pictures, right? The beaver shark spotting since 1890. They've been out there, man, and it's documented.
Let's go over that. Yeah,
It's documented.
Yeah, I think we
let's
actually have a
frame
map
this
where
for
they've
them,
been
though,
spotted
guys.
over the years.
Yep.
By the way, I'm going to force you to answer the question about the brown foam, But neither of you has it right yet. But
I'm sorry, this was a relicensing exam, and both of you have failed.
Well, I guess we're not tour guides this summer.
No kidding, eh?
no, but we can get jobs at Maid, eh?
They are hiring.
All right, want to go work attractions?
No, we didn't say brown stuff. We said the yellow stuff. There's a
It's
difference.
talking about the foam. It's river
Yeah.
foam like you'd find in any river.
Try the gray stuff, it's delicious.
That has a much different origin. Anyway, here we are with the map that we found today that you guys are let's frame this. You guys are the leading authority on the beaver sharks right now. And
Yes.
people come here and I mean that's why you have your own logo. And
right
you know,
here.
we had Jacques Cousteau's cousin, Renee, come out here a few weeks ago asking about doing a documentary with you.
I've met him
And I
before.
think, yeah, and so you guys are the ones that everyone comes to find out more about the beaver shark. So, with no further ado, this is a map of the last 3 beaver shark attacks that were recorded since 1890. A lot more were between there. So,
Global warming's really hurt him.
yeah, well, going back to 1897, and Emile. Do you remember anything about Emile?
Yes, I remember because I got my research from a marine biologist named Larry Keebler at Niagara University.
It's really why we're the experts. He's
Yeah.
so busy researching this, and we're just sort
he
of the
keeps us informed.
ambassadors, right?
But Amelia was one of the first attacks in the, I think it was the St. Lawrence River. somewhere
Yeah, it's right there in the St.
Montreal or
Lawrence. You know,
Quebec. It was
he was
Montreal, I
actually
think.
a member of the Laurentian elite,
Okay.
right?
Well-
And he went swimming. It's sort of like a Rockefeller to Americans, right? And he went swimming, and this Laurentian elite, Emile, in there, was just gobbled up. Basically, he was wearing like a mineral sapphire necklace, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they smelled that, man.
They
And
do
just-
got good
yep,
keen of smell.
got great smell.
Smell and eyesight. But I think Amelia, I think the size when they measured it was average like 5'4", 130 pounds. I think
Yeah.
that was one of the
Yep.
smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the average size they can get up to about, I don't know, like 5.5 to 6 feet tall.
Yeah, when
or
they're
long, I should say.
when they're babies, they're only a couple feet, right? Like
Yeah.
you caught that baby one, right?
Yeah, that was a small
Yep.
one, but that was, oh my God, that was like 19 pounds.
Right,
Yeah.
and just
Do we have that picture? Or you want to save it till
real
later?
small baby.
Hang on, we have a
Yeah.
little problem with
Oh, with the picture.
some of the pictures. That's
that's
all.
fine.
That's all right. That's all right. You'll have to
That
take
was
our
him.
word for
There
it.
he is. We showed him a little earlier.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the baby there.
Yeah, see underneath?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's not like a fish penis, you know.
I thought that was,
I will remind the representative from the fine nation of Canada that the United Spamological Society is a child-friendly show.
I guess kids don't have those, eh?
Yeah.
oh,
All right.
So, yeah, this is our
That
map.
was Emile,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
after Emile, then in 1921, Veronique.
Yeah.
That was very tragic up near Cornwall.
Well,
yeah, I
Cornwall's
actually
always
think that
stormy,
person
right?
died from their injuries, if I'm correct. Is that the one that was like,
I think it was a complication,
yeah, it was more due to the complication of the
but it
surgery.
was a real
but it
storm.
was-
No, it was a stormy day. You remember that?
I wasn't, I
Cornwall's
wasn't alive
always
back then.
stormy. Is a real
That was
stormy day.
1921. I mean, I know I'm old, but I'm not that
No,
old.
I'm not. When the research, Marty, and the research.
Oh, the research. Okay, yeah.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Yeah, sheesh, Louise. Yeah, but
Well, this
yeah,
is the one, according to the
Yes.
information. Yeah, that's the one who attacked Veronique.
Yes, that's the one right there.
Yeah, that's the picture from 1925, just a few years after.
I think part of the research, because they actually did catch that one and did studies on it, like they opened it up and stuff. I
Yeah.
think it had some kind of brain tumor from the invasive species they were eating in the St. Lawrence.
Oh, what were they eating back then? What was invasive in the St. Lawrence back in 21?
Oh, the zebra mussels were in 1990s. I'm trying to think.
Were
what
they?
it
No,
was.
zebras
Yeah.
were late 80s. They came in.
Yeah.
Late 80s zebras.
So
yeah,
that was
yeah, okay.
1921, right? But I know it has to do something with the diet of their food from the invasive species that come in through the ships from overseas.
Bathtub gin.
Yeah, it could have been that too.
Are tourists invasive species?
Depends on where you're from.
They're only if they stay too long.
Well,
Only
what's the
if they stay
definition of too long? 1 day, 2 day, 5 days, 6 days?
Any more than a week in Niagara Falls is good, right? As a tourist.
But on my side or your side?
That's including both, my
Oh,
friend.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's if you're hitting it real hard. I guess you could spend a season here. Probably a season, right?
Well, I give them a 3 to
You
a
could
4
spend
day
a season
pass.
here, see everything, really enjoy it. That'd be the way.
But my personal opinion, to be honest, if you really want to enjoy and see the best of Niagara Falls other than just a tourist destination,
Yeah.
I would say 3 to 4 days is a great time. Amount of
Yes.
time to
Yeah,
do
no,
it.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say, like a week here, you're going to see everything, as long as you're hitting it, though. But some people like
'Cause
to do
it-
one thing a day.
It is kind of sad because I call them my 1 day wonders. It's so many people. They do the boat, they do the cave, they see the falls, and they go home, and they miss out on so much more
They
we have
do.
to offer. And that's where we come in as guides, because with our local knowledge and the tips.
Well, but we make sure
love
they
it.
either have a good one day,
Yep,
or they're able to spend their other days
Exactly.
experieing the rest of it, right? That's a
Because
huge
I get a kick out
benefit
of
of
it
taking
when
the
people
tour.
are here for
Yeah.
4 days and they take the tour on the 4th day,
Yeah,
and they're like,
all
"Oh
the
my
time.
God, I didn't know all this." And that's why I tell people that's why you always take the tour the first day.
But
not
it's
the
every
last
time
day.
you get a tour on a Sunday or Monday. That's when those people are there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep. Every time.
So I want to draw attention to the work you two have been doing. Martin and Nicholas, they call you, but you're
Party
now
Marty.
based here.
Martin.
There's your boat. The
yes.
now it's called the Ruby Ann Bayfield.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so who was Ruby Ann Bayfield?
That is Nick's ex-girlfriend's great-grandmother.
Oh, so why would you name a boat after her?
Because he's still in love with her.
But it sank, right?
It sank. It sank.
Well, it's quite the boat out on the St. Lawrence River.
Can't be
right?
saying that.
Yeah, I know.
You can't be saying that, my friend. I got a new lady now, man. Yeah.
But she
All
knows
right.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's the boat, the Ruby Ann Bayfield. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's another thing that was sent to us
Oh,
by
yeah.
Rene Cousteau. He
Yeah.
watched. This is where he wanted to look into this, which was
not many, is it?
the last known photo of Manon Corriveau as she fished into beaver shark-infested waters. Why am I saying it like that? Of the
Manon.
St. Lawrence River.
Corrieville.
I could do it Polish. Last known photo of Manon Corriveau as she's fishing like in beaver shark.
That's pretty
That
good
is-
Polish.
I'm
That's
Polish,
pretty
and it does
good.
not sound
Hey.
like Polish.
That-
well,
no, it's not, I think
or
that's pretty.
inebriated. But,
just kidding.
so yeah,
I have
Manon
no idea
Corriveau
what Polish
disappeared.
is.
You
Yep.
guys have been starting your investigation into that.
We've been down there looking for Corriveau. You know, the issue is like with the Niagara, right? It's there's all them vortexes, there's all little eddies and that, and you know sometimes it's hard to find the bodies.
Yeah, here's a clip from your search efforts.
Yes.
This was the winter of 2018.
And that was a very cold day that day. Oh my goodness.
see.
It was. Yeah.
And you're right on the ice there. I mean,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
do those red buoys mean that there's...
That means to stay on the right.
Ah, good, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were beaver shark indicators.
Red buoys means to pass on the right, which is your starboard.
That's correct.
Or
All
port
right.
side.
Peter
side is
actually
left.
knows this stuff too,
Yeah,
though. That's
port
the thing.
side is your
Peter's
left
sitting
because
there
there's
saying
4
that's
letters
correct.
in
He's
port
right.
and 4 letters in the word left. Starboard is your right, so that's starboard side.
You would have driven directly into the iceberg.
Yeah, I know. Which one, the Titanic or the boat that made of the mist?
Yes, both.
You know, I always tell people when they're going on Made of the Mist, I say, if you hear someone shout, iceberg, dead ahead, you're in entirely the wrong movie.
Well, isn't
good
there
one.
one captain for the Man of the Mist, the guy from the Exxon Valdez?
What?
You don't remember?
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What a rumor, Marty. You're starting here on live broadcast that this guy's the Exxon Valdez. Like, that's a little much, my friend.
Ticket
Holy
sales just
cow.
went down this year.
Isn't the new admissions person part of the Manson family?
Are
I
you
mean,
guys
think of it.
prepared to be sued for this?
I must stress that the views expressed on the show are entirely fictitious.
And opinionated.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if anything that is said on here, I just walked in. Blame Peter. It's all the Canadian.
I just met this guy.
It's all that Canadian over there, yeah. Yeah.
Thought we were talking about beaver sharks, gentlemen.
Well, we were. And so,
We're sorry, we got off topic. That's just.
No, Rene Cousteau. You know, it's a big deal. These beaver sharks, man, and these guys are really on it. It's a shame that their research isn't getting exposed enough, and that's really what we're here for, right, Marty?
Yeah.
You know, we want to make sure that
Because
it's taken seriously.
they are so rare, They're not really aggressive, but we want people to be aware of them. So if they do see them, what to do and what not to do. Basically, just leave them alone and let them just thrive in their habitat.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you don't have no cell phones on you or any mineral necklace, you should be all right.
That's right. You'll
But
be
wasn't
okay.
there a guy down at the dock in somewhere in Niagara Falls? What was his name, Ricky? And he had that poster that said "Shave the beaver sharks," and we realized that it was misspelled. Everyone was showing up with razors to try. No, I
What
don't
was
remember
misspelled?
that. It shave the beaver sharks.
Oh,
you know?
save the beaver.
save.
Oh,
I
okay.
Now you get it.
Yeah, I was
see.
going to say, beaver sharks don't have fur like a beaver. It's more like
Nico's
the scales,
walking out.
yeah.
He's like, this was supposed to be for kids. What
you
is
know
going
who you
on
have
here?
on
It
here?
is.
This
What do you
Party
think the
Marty
two of
and
you
Team
are?
Nick.
What's that? Oh, man.
All right, so we have established that you are the beaver shark gurus of
Yeah.
our area.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And that's fun because it sounds like a lot of great information you impart upon your guests.
Yes.
Yeah, they get to learn things a lot of people wouldn't know, you
Yeah.
know. And this is really it for beaver shark territory, you know. They're coming up the St. Lawrence, as we've seen, you know. That's sort of where they're at, and they come into Lake Ontario, but they just can't get past that because of this lovely place we know as Niagara Falls.
Because of
So,
a 175-foot drop.
175-foot drop, can't get
Give or
above that.
take.
Yep.
Well, I believe we have expressed our. We do have a beaver shark hotline. It is our call-in number.
yes.
If you have witnessed, believe you have seen a beaver shark in the Niagara River, please call us at our beaver shark hotline, which Peter is putting the thing up for as we there we go.
There we go.
716-957-5258 to report your beaver shark sightings.
They've been around.
Call now. Operators are standing by.
I should call.
Where'd
Well,
you
you
go?
can't call. You're going to create
can't
a big
call
feedback
yourself.
loop on the broadcast. It's going to go.
Hi, first time caller, long time listener.
Hey, just for the record, this is my first podcast ever, so.
You're doing great.
And you're doing
at you.
great.
So how about okay, I got a question for the American.
Which one's that?
Yeah, who's the
Hey,
American?
we haven't figured that one out yet.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marty, I'm gonna aim this at you.
Okay.
Because if you're Canadian, you'll know it, and if you're American, you might. All right, what is the primary ingredient in poutine?
Ooh.
Well, I know this.
I just heard the answer and I
know
forgot.
you do too.
It's not gravy. Oh, it's the poo.
Exactly. Well
That's
done.
right. Poo. Very good. Very good. And the cheese curds, you know, they're chunky.
Yeah, but it's the poo that gives it the salty taste.
Absolutely.
Like a box of chocolates.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Give it
I
this.
will say this is the second most unhinged episode we've ever done.
Oh yes.
With
It's not
Nick and
the first.
Marty.
No,
you
guys
know
knew
us.
what you were getting yourselves
You know
into.
who we are.
I should have known.
Do you have guests this evening? No, outpatients. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, we are from Western New York, so we are like what the weather is, bipolar.
Very good. I like that one.
All right, so we're going to take a quick 20-second reprieve here while I go on with to deliver a message on behalf of one of our partners where we were last week. But I wanted to mention that the Herschel Carousel Museum is now open for the season. A great place to visit. You can see our last episode. We were there with some of the kids in our youth program, including Nico. And we had a great time there, and we saw just how much there is in that place. Just a reminder, they have an auto show this coming summer, planned for July 22nd, 2023, from 11 to 3, and classics at the Carousel. So all pre-72 and special interest cars are welcome. So that's going to be quite the show, but we do want to help promote what they're doing at the Herschel Carousel Museum. Ian, Shirley, and the staff there are phenomenal. We thank them again for hosting us last week, and we now return you to your regularly scheduled Nico.
Oh yeah, we're back to me. And if you did miss that episode last week at the Herschel Carousel Museum, or any of our episodes, right there on our YouTube page in the videos, you can watch previous episodes. And I would recommend the Herschel one because that was just a spectacular last week. I might also recommend just going to the Herschel Carousel Museum because it's a hidden gem here in Niagara County. My question that I want to throw over to both of you is just, The quirks of tour guiding. Every tour guiding is kind of like WWE wrestling. Everyone has a shtick.
Oh, yes, and you know it.
And I know.
And I taught him mine. That's why they're the same.
Which is
Oh, the room goes quiet.
you're talking about.
Oh, you know my shtick. We all know my shtick in this room.
You got me lost right now.
You don't know my shtick. It rhymes with shtick.
But I don't think
Team
I can say that.
Nick.
Oh,
Team Nick.
Look at that.
If you ever are in Niagara Falls, you will hear that.
You will. Yeah.
Or, I'm not as. His is more deep, but I'm the All Stars. Party Marty is All Stars.
Well, I'm sorry, Nico. What was the rest of your question?
Yeah, so-
I interrupted you.
So what?
Yeah.
So here's the deal, because I've had to sit through this more times than I'd care to admit. When your groups are passing each other like ships in the night, and you try to outdo each other. Has there been a determination over who has won the most times? Who is
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please. Go ahead, be honest.
I'll be honest. My little brother.
Yeah.
But
And
I've got
I'll tell
some
you
good
what.
ones. I cheated though. a
You've
few
had
times.
some good ones. This guy will pick people up in the queue. Oh, hey, couple people in front of his group, couple people behind. I'm going to say something. You need to just please shout it with me. We're going to kick this guy's butt.
And we
And it's
have.
like, look, like we both got a tour of 30 people. That's not enough people to find a couple loudmouths.
32. 32.
32? Yeah. Didn't I say 32?
He said 30.
Mo, what's the better win?
No, but yeah, I will. I mean, it's fun. If you ever see me and Nick out there and a few other tour guys, they know we're out there in the state parks. Because we definitely do bring a dynamic. And what we do is we just try to have fun with our groups to keep it going, keep it alive, you know.
We want to support each other too, right? We want to
it's
keep
nothing
the
bad or
energy
negative.
up.
Yeah, that's all. We're just trying to keep the
And
energy,
that's-
keep
yeah.
people happy, you know, allow them to enjoy their time there. Because, like I say, you know, when you're on vacation, you just want to relax, have fun, and create memories. And that's what we try to do with our groups.
That's correct.
Just take the stress
That's
off them
absolutely
and
right.
let them, you know, feel at ease and enjoy one of the great wonders of the world.
You want to have fun with it, right? So you know, you do that. You gain a sense of being in your team because you have a group of people and you want to integrate them. You want to get them together, and you want to create that sense of belonging. And I mean, you know, we're crazy humans. We all have that mob mentality thing going in us. And if you can do a little hurrah and get them going and do it with the other guy, it's you know,
Because one of the
straight
things
back in caveman days.
Because
It's
one of
great.
the things with our groups, being an international tourist destination, we do deal with a lot of people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So not everyone is just American, Canadians, whatever. They're
That's
from
right.
around the world. So, you know,
You
you
wanna
might have
create
someone
some smiles.
from Brazil
That's right.
or England and, you know, Florida. So
Yeah.
we become one by interacting with them like that, making them feel like we're not just part of a group, but more of
That's right.
friends here.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys
Sure.
about being a tour guide, and I know I share that. I've been doing that longer than
Longer
Nick's
than
been
us.
alive.
Yeah, longer than us.
And I'm actually
you're pretty good
trying
at
to
it
get
too,
out
Pete.
of the business.
You are great at it.
But
Yeah.
no, we all have fun. But I've got a question for you, and I'll share my answer to this because I finally found the answer that I wanted to give people. What do you say when people ask if I really need a tour guide?
Do you really need a tour guide? You know,
I've had that kind of asked before, not in the exact words.
so usually people will say, you know, this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, or like, you know, I'm not sure that I wanted to do a tour, but it's usually towards the end of the tour, and they're, you know, clearly saying, this is better than I expected, and I'm glad I did it. And the answer is no, you don't need a tour guide. You can save yourself a couple bucks, you know, if you want to walk a few extra 1,000 feet and all that. You know, and some people have no problem with that and maybe even prefer that. But you don't get the just the stress-free
Exactly.
experience of getting around everywhere, getting right into things. And, you know, when it comes to some of like our longer tours, like our Canadian American tours, I mean, there's no way your average tourist is doing that on their own time.
Yeah.
You know, they could spread it out over a couple days, and if they have a couple days and they don't want to do a tour guide, sure. But
And if I could,
yeah,
if I can
that's
add,
sort of my answer. Yeah, you go ahead.
and if I can add to that, like Nick hit it right on the nose. Like I've had people say, "Oh my God, I'm glad I did this because I wouldn't have been able to figure this out on my own. I didn't know where to go."
Right.
And like he said, having a license, not just a license, but experienced tour guide that knows the information in the area,
Of course,
it does
that's the
relieve the
thing.
stress off of you of where to go, where not to go. But also at the same time, when you do have a experienced tour guide, you're getting the local tips, the do's and don'ts, the good restaurants, the good parking. You know,
That's right.
because I'm always pointing out for my people where the
That's
free
right.
parking is, and some of us, me and Nick and others, we have flyers we make up on our own that we hand out and places to go and things to eat. And one thing you will not
All
find
the
on our
restaurants
flyers
and that.
are franchise restaurants.
Never.
Because you can get that back home.
Never.
We want you to experience the
great.
localness of what the Niagara region has to offer on both sides, the U.S. and
100%.
Canadian. Because that's what you're here for. You're here to experience. Because I've traveled. How many of you guys travel and you're somewhere that you have no idea where you are? And then you go somewhere and you went to the wrong place and you're hearing or seeing something else like, man, I should have went there. But
Right.
when you hire a tour guide, like Nick said, you might pay a little bit more money, but you're getting valuable information.
It's worth it. Yeah.
From and having fun also at the same time.
Well, we were talking about this too, how people, they come on the last day, right? And it's like all the stuff you get out of your tour guide, you can use across the rest of your trip, right? If you utilize
Yep.
them correctly, right?
And plus,
Yeah.
like I tell people, you know, I do understand for some people, if not most, this might be your first and last time here. So please ask questions.
Right.
More likely, 90%
Yeah.
of the questions you're going to ask, we're probably going to cover. But having that advantage of having your own tour guide,
Yeah.
you have direct access to ask questions
This
about the area.
library of
Yeah.
Niagara Falls, right?
So-
Absolutely.
So
which
it's
is-
a it's a benefit to have
try and be.
licensed, experienced tour guides.
yeah.
That's good, because if you go through the reviews on a lot of different tour company sites and tour booking engines, etc., you'll read everything from, first of all, I don't think you can have a best tour guide in the area, because the best tour guide is the one that made your tour great.
Yeah.
And
That's
most
correct.
tour guides have a lot of those 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
But you also get a lot of people who have been saying, like, especially in response to things like illumination tours at night or walking tours, they go, do I really need a tour guide for this? Why do I need to pay someone for this? And I had someone ask me that the other day, and I said, a lot of people choose to cut their own hair. It's that second set of eyes and the knowledge of what they're seeing that brings everything to you. Yeah, like you said, Nick, you can go ahead and you might save a few bucks, but you won't gain the local knowledge, which is really the key to what's around you. That's what you guys are,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you're both excellent. I watch you, I
Thank
interact
you.
with you
Yeah,
every
thank
day.
you.
But you actually, no matter what you show them, it's not the total Niagara. You're opening the door for them to go find the rest.
That's right. That's right.
And that's
yeah.
why I said, you know, I call them, jokingly, I call them the one-day wonders. They just do the boat, the cave, they see the falls, and they miss out on so much more we have to offer.
But
you know,
that's the best
where-
way they can do the day.
Yeah, and
That's what I tell them all the time. Like, look, if you're here for one day and you're going to do this, the best thing you could do, and come back.
Yeah.
Right. And I find you get people that do the full experience, and they have such a good time doing the full experience and getting as much as they can out of it that they want to come back, and that'll actually drive more people to come back. And it's all about engagement, right?
Because I know you have and I have, where we've had people the next season on
Yep.
our tour, like, hey, such and such was on this tour last year, and they recommended you. They said you were
I
fun,
had-
you were great.
I had
That's
these
why
folks
we're,
that came back like a month later
I've
with
had
with
same
like
people
grandma.
do it twice because they brought their family
Yeah.
over. Like, yeah. So that's just
great.
Yeah, that's good.
They're from Ohio, so I came back a few weeks later. It's a few hours drive, but still,
But you know what's
they're
also
asking
kind
for
of
ya.
interesting too, I find this happened especially during 2020, during COVID. More people were obviously traveling to parks, but I get shocked because I'll have people that live an hour and a half away, like Rochester area, that's like in their 50s and 60s, and
That
they
have
come to
never
the
seen
falls
it.
for the very first time. Like, I've never been here, and I'm shocked and blown away. But you'd be surprised, we even get local people
Yeah.
to come on our tours, and I'm shocked at it because I'm like, wait,
It's
you're
rare,
only an
but it
hour drive.
happens.
Why haven't you never been here?
Right.
I mean, I don't say that to them.
But even then, I mean, hey, I wasn't all over the Cave of the Winds before I started doing this. I rode the Main of the Mist. That's the one everyone knows about, right? But I wasn't hiking up and down the Whirlpool all the time and all that kind of stuff. I didn't even know about those trails, right? So, and that's some of the best hiking I've done in my life,
Yeah.
That's, I chose to propose to my fiance down there on those trails. It's an awesome
Congratulations,
spot.
buddy.
Thanks. Yeah. But it's like it's one of those things you want to learn and know, and that's why tour guides are valuable.
Very
what else you
valuable.
got, Nico?
Yeah,
See,
Nico.
I was gonna add into that. Because,
Oh, go ahead.
Kind of like what you were mentioning about like the attractions and locals. Like locals is a fascinating thing to me
Yeah.
because and mind you, I wrote a thesis on urban renewal. I'm a Niagara Falls history nerd for the city,
Which is awesome.
But my interest in Niagara Falls stopped at the limits of the city.
Right.
Like, it was not until I started working in tourism after college that I actually rode the Maid of the Mist, did the Cave of the Winds, did any of the attractions.
Really?
Like, I used to make a joke. I said I can count on one hand how many times I've been to the state park before I, got into
Worked
tourism.
there.
And
Yeah.
I lived in Niagara Falls my entire life. But the joke is, and this is, bonus
That's a
points.
classic.
The Rainbow
right there.
Center,
That's a
yeah.
classic.
No, that shirt's awesome, man.
Yeah, so this was somewhat, and I'm slightly upset because the font is very close, but it's not perfectly accurate. It's missing serifs, and that's something
I was
only
gonna say,
somewhat
I
a
can tell
nerd
it's
like
made.
me.
It's not old enough.
Yeah,
right?
it is,
But
it
it's
is
very
a
cool.
replica. And
Yeah,
actually, one
very
of
cool.
my friends sent me the link over to it and was like, "This looks like you," and I'm like, "Yeah," because I wrote I have a 3-paragraph section just about the Rainbow Center. Factory Outlet Mall in its existence and the history of that whole thing was. I dug through a lot of archives.
That's
I used to
super
keep
cool.
the coordinates to the Winter Garden on a metal bracelet around my wrist, and people go like, "What is that coordinates in your house?" I'm like, yeah, "It's kind of like my home. It's the Winter Garden."
No, can I say something
Right
to
on.
that? What you're saying about, because you're talking about places that don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
And
you saw that.
And on my tours, usually towards the middle or towards the end, me and a few others, I like to do a little extra that's not part of the tour so they can see certain things they normally wouldn't. And during the one part of my tour, because I'll drive down the Niagara Escarpment into Lewiston, turn around so they can see where the falls was, see the Class 5 rapids, see where Lewiston is because it's such a beautiful historic town.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So, as I'm driving back, I always say this to people because, and I seriously mean this, I take it to heart. I tell people, I'm like, guys, I want to apologize for something because it is really embarrassing to me. I notice you notice a lot of abandoned buildings and empty land in the downtown area of Niagara Falls, New York. But it used to never be like that. I actually have some fond memories of what the downtown area used to look like. And what happened was, what I tell people, over the last couple of decades, we started losing a lot of good industry jobs. So with that happening, the population dwindled. Now, when that power plant first opened in the early 1960s, our peak population was a little bit over 120,000. We are now at 45,000, and we see anywhere between 8 to 12 million visitors around the world on the U.S. side and about 20 million on the Canadian side. But I tell people this, I say all that to say this, do not be disappointed with the downtown area, because if you take a short 10, 15-minute drive like we just did, there's a lot more to do and nicer things to see. And that's one of the advantages of having an experienced tour guide to show you and tell you these things. So I just wanted to add to that.
No,
100%.
but those are valid points, and it's also so whenever I talk to people, and the reason, I say, I'm a fan of it. I'm too young to have experienced a lot.
Right.
I mean, the Rainbow. I'm wearing this on my shirt. I was 4 when it shut down. So. The joke's on me a little bit that I missed the boat on some of these things.
No,
my
but you
entire
know
high
what you're
school
talking
years
about,
there.
I
right?
know,
Which is
and-
something a lot of people our age are not going to.
And that's it. And
Yeah,
where it
it
becomes
gets
critical
lost.
is I used to have people, especially at some of my older jobs when I first started, that would be I haven't been to Niagara Falls in 40 years. I haven't been to Niagara Falls since 1983.
And a lot's different.
And a lot has changed. And before they come here, a lot of times they're like, well, what's here? What's there? And I'll be like, okay, what do you remember? And I kind of can contextualize.
Right.
Okay, you stayed at the Hilton? Okay, that's the Sheraton now. That building's still there. I said, the convention center's now the Seneca Niagara Casino. The Winter Garden is gone. The Outlet Mall's not there anymore. This building is still there, but this is this. You can kind of...
Yeah.
So you're framing them to... They're not... Because if they're expecting what they came to see 30,
Which is not gonna
34
be.
years ago, which is not what it is anymore.
Right.
So I always try to, when they have these conversations, I haven't been here in this long, I'll be like, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
And things have shifted. And there are, even with all of the, mess that is downtown a lot of times, there's so many hidden gems.
Yes.
Within even the downtown corridor.
Yes.
That are. I spend a lot of time just telling people, because they'll be like, they say, well, we did the maid, and this is why tour guides matter. Well, I did the maid, I did the cave, and now I've done this tour, and now what? And it's like, well, there's the aquarium, the Underground Railroad Heritage Center.
Yep.
Just like, you can go,
the Whirlpool jet boat.
Whirlpool jet boat.
Jet
Then you
boats
start
are awesome.
expanding, Herschel Carousel Museum, Riviera Theater,
And if
Lockport
you-
Locks and Erie
I was
Canal
just going to
Cruises.
say Lockport, or
Lockport
even Buffalo
is a
has.
huge miss for people,
Big
and
time.
no
And
one
it's so
ever
historical.
makes it out to Lockport.
It's like, and now
It
you
is
can hop.
fascinating
You
and
can
cool.
hop on the Discover Niagara shuttle, and they have an express route now to Lockport.
Do
You know
they
what's sad?
really?
Yes,
it
they do.
started last year.
But you know what's sad
I-
about that?
So, bad tour guide, but very,
No.
very cool. I'm
Here's the
glad I
sad-
know
here-
now. Yeah.
Now, the trolley that you're talking about, they do promote it, they do advertise, but not everybody knows about it
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
They do at some hotels and bus stops. They do pick you up, and I tell people that.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, because a lot of people
People
fly
don't know
in
about
and
the
take
shuttle
Uber. They
at
don't
all.
have a car, and when I'm telling them Lewiston, because it's only like 10 minutes or so from downtown Niagara Falls, I say, guys, the trolley takes you there, and it takes you to Fort Niagara. Well, where do I get it? Well, what hotel are you staying at? Talk to the front desk. They'll guide you. They might actually pick you up at your hotel. And but it's sad because that's a great tool right there, and they do promote it. They do advertise, but a lot of people don't use it.
It's
And
a little bit of a
it is,
miss on the
and
marketing,
the, The thing about the Discover
Not
Niagara
that they
shuttle,
don't.
so I've actually, credit to Sarah Capon. Sarah Capon's the one who fought to
Yes.
get that going.
Yeah.
She was the head of the National Heritage Area. And
Okay.
the Discover Niagara shuttle was, and still is, free to ride.
Yep.
Yes.
It is a free
Well, that was my
transportation
next question.
service.
It's free all the way to Lockport? I can't believe it.
Yes.
But it should be. It is. And it's awesome. And people aren't, like you said, Marty, people aren't latching onto it, I guess. I
There
don't
is,
see why not.
So there's always been a lot of confusion. We've talked about this in previous episodes, Peter and I,
Yeah.
where the breakdown in communication that has always happened in Niagara Falls. There has been a little bit of a change in that we've seen like updated signage now in downtown pointing to things. Destination Niagara has now taken over operations of Old Fall Street, which I do believe having the DMO kind of operating your main thoroughfare does help with communication.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see some synergy forming
That's
in
good.
the tourism districts. And these are, the hard work of people like the Downtown Niagara Falls Business Association.
And they don't get enough credit. that
They don't.
deserve.
The DNFBA
No, you're absolutely right.
deserves a lot of credit.
100%.
A lot of those were people that were formerly on the city's tourism advisory board. I was also formerly on the city's tourism advisory board. Unfortunately, the city's tourism advisory board is no longer operating. It was discontinued at the beginning of this year. So the DNFBA is
Really?
now sort of the DNFBA is picking up the slack where the advisory board has left off.
Right.
So the DNFBA and has also expanded its enrollment to all of Niagara Falls businesses, not just downtown, because they've
Good.
realized that there's so many differing business associations within Niagara, and let's open this communication line up. Let's unite, and that's what we're really seeing. So it's kind of cool, and as tour guides, you're downtown every day, and you can see these little tweaks and changes that are happening.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
as someone like me who's kind of been tied behind the scenes in this for a while, watching it kind of come to fruition and seeing these things actually occurring and seeing positive change to those, the neglect that is Niagara Falls downtown sometimes, seeing these positive changes occur and stories being told and events happening and having these moments is kind of cool.
And how you talked about the positive changes, that's the problem with the locals, I would say. So many people are focused on the negative changes.
Locals can be
And
very,
they're
very
not
cynical.
seeing the
Yes.
positive changes. Like me, growing up and living downtown and now also working there, I tip my hat to the tourist industry of who run the people you're talking about, even some of the politicians. They're working the best they can with what they have. And I try to tell, I've been telling people this for the last 5-10 years, who complain I'm like, listen, it's coming along slowly, but it's better than what it was 10 years ago. And I'm talking those small changes, like Old Fall Street. We didn't have that. Now we have a new convention center. That's starting to work out. You're seeing more activity there. We got the live bands and music on the weekends. They block that off
That's
over at the
something I've
Sheraton.
been happy to see on
Even
Old Falls
Wine on
there.
Third blocks it off sometimes, and I have to keep take heed to that because when I'm coming back from the whirlpool, I'm like, oh,
I didn't know why not Third's been blocking it off, eh?
Yeah,
They'll
so
have
they
concerts
do
there.
summer concert series on 3rd Street. And
That's
I
awesome,
do
dude.
believe it is returning this year again, so that will
That's
be happening.
awesome. Yeah, I
So
didn't know
there
they
is
were
the
doing
little
it there
things
on
that
3rd
people-
over there. Yeah.
But the key, because you said it, communication needs to be better. Because being a local, there's things that goes on down in Niagara downtown that I don't know about. I find out because I'm a tour guide. Locals don't know. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Locals don't know that things are going on down there. Only reason I know is because I work down there.
Well, you know what's odd to me is I think, like, there's different markets that are a little bit bigger and they seem to synergize more. One thing I will say is that Niagara County and Erie County, as much as the Twin Cities exist
We're
there,
two different-
are
Big
completely separated. So you're not going to see anyone talking about Niagara Falls and what's going on up here in this city of 50,000 in Buffalo,
For
which is
300,000.
right down the road.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
And like it's the same metro. It's the same transit NFTA.
actually
Things are getting better.
It's
It's the same
Buffalo
metro
Niagara
area.
Metropolitan Statistical Area, so they
Yeah.
are considered
Yes.
connected.
Right.
But you're dealing with a long history of tension that goes decades and decades and decades back. There's one of my quotes I like to pull out. There's two quotes I always pull out that I'm like, listen, if I had to dig through 500 pages of archive work, I'm going to pull these quotes out. One relates to residents, and it was from the 80s. It was an editor in the Gazette was leaving, and he just went off on everybody. And he ended with, there's a prominent civic leader that I'm not going to name, and I never did verify who it was because I'm like, I'm not going to open that can of worms, who said, these people of Niagara Falls enjoy failure. They thrive in failure.
I've heard that.
So you know that quote. The other one is Edent Lackey got in a fight with Buffalo in the 1970s
70s.
because Buffalo decided they were going to build their convention center, and Niagara Falls had just completed building their state-of-the-art convention
They
center,
ran out of money.
and it was a whole.
Now,
Well, I've heard this
No,
about
have
the
you heard the
convention
actual
centers in the
quote, though?
past. I don't know which convention center is which because it's Buffalo Niagara
Listen,
Convention Center, and Buffalo gets to use that name.
We have a caller?
Do we really?
We have a caller.
well,
Do we?
We
Someone called?
Hey, you're live with your Niagara Falls experience. I think it is David Florio.
I know that name.
Oh, I know David. What's up, David?
You there, David?
Yeah, that's right. You're doing that, aren't you?
What is
You're on the air, buddy. So you're
Yeah.
not tuned into the show or anything. You just
So he's just called, ladies and gentlemen, our dear friend David Florio.
David Florio, one of the executive producers here.
He's calling in his beaver shark sighting.
Oh, you saw Beaver Shark, Dave.
Beaver shark. Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. We've been talking about it for like the first 20 minutes of the
We've
show.
showed you.
We actually have.
This is what I'm talking
research and
about.
data with
Why Larry Keebler
Keebler-
and Rene Costeau are not getting across to people and why
Oh
they
my
need us as
goodness.
ambassadors. These people, they don't believe in the beaver sharks,
So,
Marty.
Dave, long story short, it's a rare
man,
freshwater
no.
shark that thrives in the lower Niagara River.
Oh, no, he knows. He's ignoring. He's ignorant to the
You got
facts.
you got way too many Canadians in there.
You can never have way too
But
many
which ones are
Canadians.
But which one's the Canadian? That's the question
Yeah.
we started off with.
Yeah.
Is it
I hear
Nico?
that.
Is it
I hear
Nick?
that.
Is it me?
Yeah, I hear that.
Or we know Pete, eh?
Pete, eh?
Yeah.
I think I'm a little obvious, eh?
Eh?
Well, I mean, one of them is wearing an American flag, so I mean, it could be false advertising. There could be a trick.
It's a trick question.
It is
American
a trick
flag,
question.
Canadian flag above
Canadian
me?
flag above. I got the American flag above me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plot twist: we're all secretly Canadian.
Yeah.
I won't tell
Uh,
you. I won't admit that.
Don't you wish you were a Canadian, Dave?
oh, by the way, the cave is not open tomorrow. Probably nor is it going to be open Friday.
No, it's not supposed to be open till Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm, oh God, talking about the lack of synergy and things in Niagara Falls. That Cave of the Winds needs to be open.
It's
Yes,
not their fault,
Yes,
though.
at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, and this is great. If you're watching this and you are a tourist and you are watching this live today on April 5th, 2023, the Cave of the Winds is currently closed. The Maid of the Mist is also currently closed due to a power outage within the state park. It's actually power maintenance is probably the more specific way that it should be worded. We're going to use the state's using generic outage. It's actually has to do with some wiring they're doing because we're getting a brand new visitor center in May.
Yeah.
Which
You
is
sure it's
You think
May?
it's going to be May? I
Are you
doubt it.
sure it's May?
Listen,
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
go with the official answer, which is May.
So you don't know the real reason?
I want to hear Dave. I want to hear Dave say it. Go ahead, Dave. We all know the talkings of the town. Let's hear it from you. What's the real reason why the power is being maintained?
Unfortunately, somebody was seriously injured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. They're still in there. Yeah, they were seriously injured working on the electricity because they were supposed to be out for one day.
Turned into be a week now.
And I think what happened, and I don't want to say stuff I don't know about, but I am fairly sure at this point someone was injured. I'm very sorry for them. But I think what happened is they found improperly marked everything down there because everything in the park is just old, right? And yeah, the line was hot. They don't know what's going on with the stuff down there. It was never marked properly when it was done. And those poor guys are in a big mess trying to work out what those electrical lines are. I'm no electrician either, so I can't comment on it too much, but I don't know. Maybe you know a little bit more, Dave.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It
Very
is.
sad.
But if I understand, even though the guy was seriously injured, he's doing a little better.
There's different things. You know how that goes. There's different things we're hearing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, I know some of the guys on the work site. They kind of told me that he's doing okay. You know, he's lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
But he's doing okay. I don't know the exact status of his okay.
No,
but
he's
they said
in the
he's
burn
okay.
unit right now.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. I mean,
Skin graft and stuff with his arm. Yeah.
Yeah, they had
Yeah,
the
I heard that.
AED thing, but it was the burns, I think, that are threatening him now.
Yeah.
Right.
Very sad.
Honestly, it's so Niagara Falls.
I love Dave. How just honest
So,
he is about
Dave-
it.
Talk about the positive things.
Yeah, we're here to talk about the positive things. So we'll save the hard hitting journalism for some of the other shows on Niagara's Vox. We're usually That being said, I mean we are a tourism show. Sometimes we do have to delve into sort of the grimier parts
side,
of
yeah.
what happens in the state parks and the city.
I thought we were with these two.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, this is
But
as
we got a
grimy
little
as you
serious
can
at
get.
the last few minutes.
We did just get really serious.
Yeah.
I
But no, that's
mean,
good, that's
yeah.
good.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
at the end of the
we're
day,
here
those guys
to-
were all trying. You know, everyone's doing as good a job as they can out there, and it's you know, sometimes it's a challenge. So
But we honestly, Dave, we were hoping you were a caller to ask questions about the Beaver
Oh,
shark.
he hung up.
He hung up.
Yeah.
He
he hung up.
abandoned us.
Anybody else? Please call if you're watching, listening.
Yeah.
Please call. We'd be more than
We're
happy.
wrapping up, gentlemen. We're coming to the end of the hour.
as
No
we are,
trivia
it's
today?
been an hour.
That
Yeah,
was
where's the
the
trivia?
Yeah,
fastest-
throwing trivia at you
That
all
was
the
the
time.
fastest hour we've had.
All right. I hope you guys had fun if you
That
were
was a pretty
listening.
fast hour.
Should we answer the question, though? Which one of us is Canadian, or we should leave them on a cliffhanger?
Well, who's Sam Steele?
Is that Shaquille O'Neal?
Okay. What are the
who's
Laurentian
Steele?
elite?
Huh?
Is it actually always stormy in Cornwall?
Jackson, Cornwall.
Cornwall, Ontario. We were
Yeah, I
looking
know.
at it
That's
on
by
the map.
Toronto, right?
What?
Okay. I'll,
It's hours out. It's closer to Quebec border than it is Toronto.
oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. But well, who's Canadian and who's American?
Hey?
I'm definitely prettier, which means, you know,
Says
I'm
who?
Canadian.
Then who?
We're all.
Well, you might be pretty, but I'm
Prettier than
handsome.
who?
Hang on,
Yeah.
I want to do a contrast here. Look at Nick, and now look at.
I'm the real fisherman here, though.
You are. Yep. Marty's
All right,
a fisherman.
Will the real Canadian please stand up?
Ta-da!
Nick!
How about that, eh?
Yeah, I'm way too rude to be a Canadian, so I moved here.
Oh, Canada.
I'm too nice to be an
Wait,
American.
wait,
We could
fast.
trade.
It's funny you're singing that. Know what I tell
You are.
people?
It's true.
Listen, I'm
It's true.
American, and I tell people, if you are American and you can sing the national anthem and the Canadian national anthem, all that means is you're a hockey
You like
fan.
hockey.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true.
All right.
So,
So,
you guys got a great anthem, too. I love it.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one.
oh, it is. It's awesome.
It is. So,
Yours
hang
is
on, I'll
just
play a
very
little bit of
wordy.
it for you.
It's so wordy. The American one.
Sorry, wrong anthem.
I was whistling to it though. I knew
I
it.
know,
I don't know what it is. Oh, it's a
Hey, what about the Beaver Shark we recorded today? The Beaver Shark
It's
song.
the ending of this. Hey,
Oh.
you
It's the
give
ending.
away all
It's
the
ending.
fun.
I knew it too.
Oh,
I knew he
tour
was
guides,
All right,
that's
so
their job.
what we're gonna do, gentlemen? Thank you so much for
I'm
being
so
with us.
sorry.
Gonna hand over the last words to Nico tonight.
Yes, hi everybody, it's me, Nico. You know, the sane one of the group.
I will give you that,
Define
Nico.
sane.
Well, I mean,
No.
it's a low standard in this
It's
company.
a low standard. You're absolutely it.
I was able to walk in the room on my own accord and turn on the monitor. That means that I'm probably the smartest guy in the room. But in all seriousness, it's been so great having you guys
Thank
here.
you. It's been a pleasure.
And it's been great having Peter channel his inner Julian. But yes, this has definitely been one of our wilder episodes. It's always a wild time here in Niagara Falls, as wild as those lovely beaver sharks. But for your Niagara Falls experience, I am Nico, being joined by Peter, Nick, and Party Marty. Please have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week for another exciting adventure, probably not as entertaining as this.